Hey guys, and welcome to my second review segment called After They Wail. Yes, you see, the thing that I'm reviewing today is actually an animation by, I think it's Frontierworks actually. I'm not entirely sure if they actually did this or if they just published it, but anyway, it's called After They Wail, and it's I gotta say, I really enjoy this anime. What it's about is we have this village called Hinamizawa, and in this village of Hinamizawa, there is this deity called Eroshi-sama, or rather Oyashiro-sama. Yeah, that's what it's called. Well, sama is the connotation for God, at least in Japanese. Yes. My God, I'm being amateur about this. I really don't have any notes about this at the moment. I really should get some. Anyway, in the village of Hinamizawa, we have our main cast of characters. We have Keiichi, we have Rika, we have Mion, we have Satoko, and we have Rina. And these characters are relatively new to each other, but at the same time, they've been through enough to actually become close friends. Keiichi, you'll notice, is actually our male lead in this anime, and I guess I'll go into characters first instead of delving into the plot. The characters in this are amazing. I really do love how each of the characters plays off one another in their attempts to, feel like a normal functioning group unit. Keiichi, even though he is our male lead, actually isn't the leader of the group. That actually goes to one of our female leads, Mion, rather. Mion is incredibly strong-willed and is really is the leader of the group, and due to her background among the Sonozaki family, she actually has a lot more influence than you might expect from a child of her age. Well, teenager, because I think she's supposed to be 14, although she is actually quite well developed. Oh, anyway, moving on, we have Satoko, who is a 8-year-old trap master. And my God, she is amazing. Satoko is really one of the characters that you need to actually pay attention to in order to understand her all that well, which is why I really don't have much to talk about her, because I seriously don't understand her that much. But I recognize that she is amazing, and she is also incredibly strong-willed, but her dark past is riddled with torturous events that, make her... She's not emo, okay? No one in this anime is emo. Well, technically, there's one emo. Two? Yes, two. There are technically two emos. Technically. Anyway, going from Satoko, we have Rika, and Rika is our main female lead in this anime, although we don't really get to explore that until season 2. Rika is, well, a bit of the backstory on Rika. She comes from the long line of a very long line of the Feruda clan, and in Hinamizawa, as I've already established, there is the religion in which believes that the deity Orishiro is responsible for. Basically, there is a universal. I need to cover our other characters first, and then I'll come back to Rina. Going to Rina. Why do so many characters in anime have R names? It's weird. Anyway, Rina is pretty much your standard side love interest. She acts pretty much like a buffer to Mion in that she is incredibly cool and calculating, except when she goes freaking insane. And when she goes freaking insane, you get the hell out of the way, because she'll run you over with 3 different trucks at the same time while not driving any of them. She is kick-ass, though. The entire cast in this anime really is kick-ass, and if you have trouble believing this, then I'll probably post a link to episode 1 on a fan sub that you guys can go watch. This brings us up to our plot. The plot of the first season of anime is Something is terribly freaking wrong in Hinamizawa. One of our earlier characters named Satoshi, who's more of a side character, but he becomes a main character, and then he goes back to side character, and then he fluctuates between main and side all the damn time. It becomes very confusing. Satoshi ends up and Satoshi ends up being very important for Satoko, and you can't really explore Satoshi without exploring Satoko. Satoko and Satoshi have a sibling relationship, and they're because of what happens to Satoshi, Satoko is really fucked up. But because of what happens to Satoko, Satoshi is really fucked up. My God, everyone is just totally fucked up. Everyone in this anime has some dark past. Mion's connection with the Sonozaki family makes it so that she has a dark past. The fact that she has a twin sister, Shion, gets really confusing in a few of the arcs. And Shion actually has a past that relates to Satoshi. Everyone is related in some way, but everyone is directly related to Rika. And Rika is where the story mainly focuses on, because Rika is incredibly important. Anyway, Hinamizawa has this huge issue where Orishiro has, for the past several years, actually taken victims with this curse of his. And Orishiro doesn't actually show up in the anime, but he, as a deity, there are several different beliefs on how he came to be and what his actual what his cause is. Is that really how that would be worded? Causes? I don't know. I need notes. I do. I definitely do. But Orishiro has been claiming victims over the past 5 years, and it's always on the festival, which is reserved to worship Orishiro. And it gets scary at times what happens. And it is up to Keiichi to act. Well, in the first arc, it's up to Keiichi in order to investigate and attempt to explore how the happenings of the Wananagashi Festival and Orishiro are connected. And I'm gonna tell you guys this right now. That's pretty much all the plot summary that I can get you without really spoiling too much. If you're gonna be interested in this anime, you have to watch it for yourself, because I can't really spoil this. I will say that this is an amazing anime, and if you have time, watch it with a few friends, you know. But don't watch this all in one sitting, because you'll be mind fucked. Oh, so very hard, so very, very, very hard by the end of this. The first season really is episodic. What I mean is they'll go through different arcs exploring the different characters and their traits, but everything that happens in these arcs is directly connected to the main story, so you need to pay attention throughout all of it. And that's why some people that watch this are like, what? But he, and now he, but then he, and she, and then they have mindfucks, and they end up being melted in their brain syndromes, and it is very messy, very, very messy. Still, if you can actually make sense of most of this and go off of really basic assumptions, this anime is awesome. The soundtrack in this anime isn't actually all that noticeable, although when it's there for good reason. And it actually does add to the mood of times. Like, they have rather stock soundtracks, really. I'm not entirely sure if any of the sound in here is original, but the soundtracks definitely add to the mood. And if something mysterious is happening, you have a mysterious backdrop. If something actiony is happening, you have an actiony backdrop. And there is definitely a decent amount of mystery and action in this anime. I would classify this under fantasy drama as well as mystery. Yeah, a fantasy drama mystery, because the first season especially is like this. There is a lot of shit that just doesn't make sense right off the bat until you actually keep watching. And as you keep watching, you end up, understanding how all these events are connected and how they all end up, coming to fruition in this manner. And the second season does tend to lose a lot of that mystery, as a few of my friends were saying. And the edge that the first season had is technically no longer there. I, however, have to disagree that there's no longer an edge here, because I really feel that the second season does culminate, and it ends on a very very nice note. Okay, it really does. It really makes you feel like you had a very good time watching this and you enjoyed it. At least that's what it did for me. This is opinion based after all. Graphically speaking, this anime is it's very stereotypical of a normal anime of this type. The lighting engine here is on a few episodes it seems to be just totally absent, and there were a few episodes where it was like, it's too dark, guys, we need a better lighting engine. Although that was probably due to the subbers and not actually the episode's fault. I'm not entirely sure about that, but it very well could have been that. Another thing about the graphics is the time of day definitely does seem to be important, so they actually emphasize that by the positioning of the sun and the backdrops that they have. Also, the area of Hinamizawa itself really feels like it's a Japanese small village, one that you could easily bypass and miss over. And it really does feel like there's a lot of beauty here that most of it actually is explored, like in Shiki, but it's really left up to the viewer to decide how to view this style of living. And believe me, there is most definitely a style of living in here. I'm not going to go into the third season, which is strictly OVAs, because from what I've seen of the OVAs so far, I'm not done with them yet, but they seem to be either totally unconnected to the story or just add-ons. And if they're just add-ons, then that's fine. People do that. They're an extra 5 minutes longer. Well, technically for me, it's an extra 2. Is it 2? I don't know, because I really don't watch the ending theme usually. Although I have to say that the opening theme for this, at least in the first season, was very good, and I also enjoyed it in the second season. But a lot of complaints are that in the second season, the opening thing just simply isn't as good as the first season. This may very well be the case, but it is totally opinionated, so decide for yourself. Let's see. How I feel about the plot. I love the way that this anime actually goes about its plot in the first season, and I love the way that it actually explores each of the characters. If after the first arc of this anime, you will be totally confused and what the fucking all over the place, especially after the second arc. It gets really confusing really fast, and according to my friend, this is supposedly based on a Japanese exclusive game. If that is the case, then fine. I could seriously see this being a standard mystery video game. Although I'm not entirely sure if I would enjoy playing it then. Not entirely sure. But the plot in the first season does not flow. It really doesn't. You get a lot of arcs that aren't necessarily connected to each other until like the very end of season 1. And it feels very episodic this way, but that's not actually a bad thing here. It allows you to explore the different characters and all of their different traits, and it feels right for a mystery anime to do that. It really does, at least in this context. The second season, however, is not nearly as episodic, although there are most certainly episodes in it. The last half of season 2 is pretty much all culmination. And because of that, a lot of people may be like, well, what if I don't want to see all just culmination all over the place? Well, then don't watch season 2. Season 1 is really where this anime shines. It's damn near perfect. I would say it's right up there with a bunch of my other favorite animes. Now, I'm not going to list those off because people would laugh at me when I start comparing them. Well, I don't really care that they laugh at me, but they would instantly disagree with me and then shut off the video, and that's not very fair to them. So, yeah, that's pretty much how I feel about after they wail. Um, this anime is available from Geneon, Frontierworks, and Alchemist. I'm not entirely sure which order that's supposed to be in. But yeah, I know that there is a manga. I know that there is because the OVAs are technically either based on the manga or again strictly add-ons. I'm not entirely sure where that's located, and I'll probably just end up linking you guys to a fan sub. Anyway, guys, this is Gurdet14, hoping that Where's the Penguin will be coming up soon, and thanks for listening. Be safe, y'all.